What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is May 6th, 2024. Just didn't have much to talk about so far this week, but had a great weekend. Had some friends over, played some hacky sack for like an hour. Oh man, I tell you what, for a game that people don't consider very active, I guess. Like I was busting a sweat, man. Holy buckets, made some sweat with the boys. Phil, Kyle, and Matt Word. I don't know. Felt like we played for an hour. We might not have played that long, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, or something like that. And just had some fun with it, and almost pulled some groins and stuff like that. But thank goodness we didn't. Um, had some fun sitting there chit chatting, and a little scrumming, not much. I just tried to do some warm ups. I'm still not very good at it. I'm not confident at all and stuff like that. So, but you got to build it up slowly until you're sure of yourself, right? And things like that. So, but I hope everybody had a great weekend, anyways, and got something accomplished at least. Even if it was a little bit, not exactly what you wanted to get accomplished, but you still got it at least partially accomplished, right? Maybe gotta pull out the lawnmower or change the oil before you use it or something, or maybe you just gotta put away the snow blower or something like that, something of that nature. Sometimes it doesn't seem like to some people that that's a difficult thing to do, but some people they lose track of it. They're busy in their life or something like that, and it just when they get around to doing it, that's their time to relax or something like that, or some other thing in life calls them towards getting it done, and it just gets put on the back burner. But at least you're still accomplishing something. At least you're still going out and about and things like that, that you had some type of victory, right? Some kind of thing that was accomplished, and not just that you wasted your time, that you squandered it, or things like that. Because sometimes when you don't accomplish the main thing, you forget about those other things that you did, those little other victories that are also a part of your life that you got done. Sometimes we forget about those things. That had a buddy Philip. He was talking about it recently. He said that he had to write down. It pertains to work, that he wrote down a lot of these things that he got accomplished, that he got done, because it felt like he was like treading in water. That he felt like he was getting nothing done, but as he looked down at the sheet of paper that he wrote, he was keeping track of, that got done, that he realized that he got more accomplished than he thought he did, right? Sometimes people, myself included, and I'm sure anybody else, right? They forget about some of the small victories that they had during the day, and sometimes keeping track of it and seeing it written down or something, it can make a big difference, right? It can make a big difference on how you perceive that day, week, or month, or whatever. That just because you forgot about them doesn't mean that you didn't do nothing. I know I'm notorious for forgetting a bunch of things. People are like, they'll ask me how my weekend was, and I'll be like, it was uneventful, and then I'll talk to my significant other and recap about it, and I'll be like, oh man, I did a lot more than I remember. It feels like it happened such a long time ago, but in all reality, it was that last day. And it just, I don't know. That's me being an airhead and trying to live in the moment. A lot of times, like in my mindset, I don't think about those things, just because I don't, I don't put pressure on myself, so I don't really try to think too far forward, and I don't, not that I don't dwell on the past, just to me, I'll remember those things, but I don't remember exactly when they happen, right? To me, it feels like it just happened yesterday, and I'm sure that a lot of people feel that way. But for myself, it's like, am I getting old? Am I going insane or something like that? But it's not. That's not the case, right? It's just that I don't remember exact dates. It kind of starts to mesh together and things like that. But it doesn't mean that they didn't happen. That doesn't mean that you didn't accomplish anything. And maybe you just gotta keep track of it more, right? Like, write it down or something. Practice the handwriting and stuff like that. I know my handwriting sucks butt cheeks, so I can hardly read it myself, and I'm the one that wrote it, right? And it's sometimes you can get down on yourself because you felt like nothing was accomplished, that you didn't get anywhere, but you actually did do something, that you actually got at least partially done with a major project or something. That doesn't mean you can't do it during the week if you find time to do it, or if you remember to do it or something. A lot of times when you don't get a certain thing done, it kind of it'll bug some people because that was their main objective and things like that. So maybe put forth some effort to get it done during downtimes or something. But yeah, you forget, you forget, and there's nothing really you could do about it because you forgot. But when you remember to do it and you get to it, you just gotta try to focus your most, right? And remember to write down some of those little victories. Maybe they'll boost your confidence. Maybe they'll help you feel not like you're swimming in a puddle of nowhere, right? You're not walking in circles for no reason, unlike me in these rambles, right? But you're actually getting those things accomplished that you want to get done, or at least working towards them. Because let's say we'll use this example of like going to school, right? You don't get the school done, studying done in one day. You don't learn everything in one day. It takes you years to do it, right? It takes you years to get it done. High school, elementary school, middle school, freaking college. If you went to college or whatever, that you're working towards something that's going to take you to years to at least retain some of that knowledge, right? Some of that thing that you're going to set out to do in your life journey. And it's just, it's like everything else. You just gotta practice and relearn and unlearn just to relearn again. And it's gonna be tough. It's gonna suck at the time, but when you see those benefits of what you're working towards get done, the fruits of your hard work take effect and be a major part of your life, then you know that it was all worth it, right? That's what a lot of people say, that had grinded through those things, that worked towards a certain thing because they created something in their mind, and they worked towards that goal, and they ultimately were fortunate enough to come out on the other side and walk down that path that they chose for themselves. Not everybody gets to do that. Sometimes they go down the wrong path and they veer off the path, and then they fortunately find their way back. But not always, there's going to be people that are going to be miserable somewhere. That's everywhere. Everywhere you're going to find somebody like that, where they feel like they're trapped, that they feel like, they're doing something that they don't want to do, that they don't feel like, they're doing anything at all. And it's up to them to go, get off that path and go find the path that they want to do. And it's easy to say, but it's it's always easy to say, but that doesn't make it any easier when you hear it, to change course, to change direction, because as we know it, life isn't that simple. That life is pretty hard for some people. They got families to feed, they got themselves to feed, they got a house to pay for, they got, rent or whatever, mortgage, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot more factors. It's easier when you're younger, when you don't have those responsibilities to take care of children, to take care of other people other than yourself, right? Because when it's just yourself, and only yourself to worry about, it's a lot easier. It doesn't seem easy at the time, right? I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not easy, because you're worried. You might be worried about if you have somewhere to stay or not, and some people they find themselves on benches sleeping. They find themselves at Walmart sleeping on the benches. They're putting themselves through school or whatever have you. They're on friends' couches because their lives, they feel like they're in shambles or something. And a lot of people, they're going to find themselves there, but they're not giving up, right? They're working towards something more. I make mention about when I was in Walmart, and my buddy Mitch, Big Mitch, shout out to Mitch. There's this guy that would every night he was taking himself through school at the local university, and he'd have to sleep on the benches because he had nowhere else to go. He didn't have a job or anything at the time, and he couldn't afford to live anywhere, right? So he was sleeping on the benches at Walmart, and my buddy Mitch would give him, share his sandwich with him, because we just buy those little sandwiches from Walmart like every day. They're good, but they're not the best for you, let's say, especially if you're just going to eat it all by yourself. But if you, like me, I didn't really cook for myself too much at this time in my life. Just chugging pops and eating anything I can get my hands on. I didn't care about any of that jazz. I still somewhat don't care, but I do care, and I cook, and I've always been the one that cooks and stuff like that. But except for when I was younger, obviously it's just priorities, man. Priorities is video gaming, drinking, drugging, and stuff like that. So you find yourself in a bad rut sometimes. But as long as you're alive, you can overturn it. You can work towards something. You can save up. You can, start to form a life that you didn't think you would ever have. I never thought I would have a kid. Here I am. I got a son, and it makes me the happiest person in the world just to have my son, to see him grow and stuff like that, see him develop and do cool things with him, and to at least try to show him that life's gonna be hard, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun. That doesn't mean that you can't live and grow and have fun at the same time. So I'm not gonna be perfect at it. He's not gonna be perfect when he gets older. I understand that, but I still want to do the best I can for him. I want him to do the best he can. I'm gonna talk to him as much as I can about a lot of these situations that I've heard about, I try to explain to him. He'll be like, why is this person like that? And I'll be like, you don't understand it much now, but, life has weird roads for us as we walk it, as we progress through life, And he's like, oh, okay, Dad. And then, he might not understand it, but he might a little bit, he might. But as he grows older and he starts to see it more for himself, starts to experience it, that there's going to be a little bit more understanding, But at the same time, it might not click for him at the time, because I know a lot of things my family tried to tell me as they were happening. Sometimes it didn't click at that time. It didn't click till after, when I thought about it, and that I was reminded about those times that these people took out of their lives to share with me, to not warn me about, but to try to, you know, shine a little light onto it. But when a light's shined onto knowledge that is not held onto, that isn't known, that is just words at that time period, that we don't see it, right? We don't see it, and sometimes it takes reflecting to see it. So, but don't get down on yourself. Write down those little notes for yourself, and you know that progress, it's going to come slow, and it's not going to come cheap. So don't hold anything for granted, especially when it's somebody that cares for you and loves you and just wants to see you succeed. So till the next ramble, guys, I'll see you guys next time. I'll try to get a video posted. Not try to, I'm going to, if I have to break my camera to do it. The last one, I apologize. It didn't record. I pressed the freaking record button. It was going. Just no excuse for it. I'm not going to blame anybody else. That's my fault and things like that. So I'm going to do what I can to record this stuff. If that camera doesn't work, I'm going to have to use my phone. And you can, I'll do I'll tell you guys what kind of camera I have if it doesn't work again. I love the camera, but you know, I'm just having some difficulties with it. But it's awesome. It's an awesome camera. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.